Hello, ladies. It is me, your girl Rachel L. Proctor, and I am here for another Mentor Motivation Monday video. Say that 10 times fast. But anyway, it is actually the morning time. I actually decided to tape this video the morning of, so it is actually Monday morning. And I am filming this for you. And just to jump into it, well, I guess if you ran across this video on YouTube, I know that there are some that are not actually in our mentor group. But if you ran across this video on YouTube, I am Rachel L. Proctor. I'm an entrepreneur, public servant, elected official, what have you. But I started this group as a mentorship and accountability group for women, Christian women, who are trying to finish some goals, and the theme of our group is to finish strong, no matter what that thing is that you are trying to do, whether that's start a business, whether you're trying to lose weight, whether you're trying to write a book, whether you're trying to start a blog, whatever that thing is. We are here as a sisterhood to hold each other accountable. So if you're not a part of our group, if you're not on our email list or in our Facebook group, you can actually join us. You can actually join us by going to www.rachellproctor.com/finish strong, and the actual links to that particular sign up page are in the comment section below. So what we do is I have an opportunity for the ladies that are a part of the group to submit questions that I answer or select from to answer from week to week as kind of a motivational tool to address some of the questions that you have as me being your mentor. So one of the questions, and it's kind of like our question was last week or the week, maybe the week before last, about purpose. So many women had this particular question in regards to things that were submitted. And that particular question is, how do you combine your ministry with your career or your job, that thing you do for a living? How do you combine those particular things together? And so I want to talk a little bit today about marketplace ministry. And marketplace ministry is somewhat of a new term, I guess. It's not one that's been around for a long time. I know for myself personally, I just had heard that term, maybe within the last 5 years, 4 years, maybe. And so marketplace ministry is very, I guess it's, affecting the community that you're called to reach. Now, if you follow me for any amount of time, you know that I believe that each of us have a community or a tribe or a group of people that are assigned to us, that are assigned to our lives, that are drawn to our personal stories. That's why I always feel it's so important that you share your stories with people around you, because you never know who is struggling with that or who is dealing with that. Sometimes we count our story out because it just doesn't seem like it's a big deal, or it's not some flashy story like you hear other people, but you never know who is drawn to you and who can be impacted and whose life can be changed. And so I think marketplace ministry is a lot like that. Now, again, I'm an entrepreneur, and I've actually been one, I'm going to say, as long as I can really remember. And I say that because my dad started several businesses, as you know, when I was a child, and I've never worked in corporate America. We've always had businesses. We've always had opportunities for me and my siblings to work in those businesses. And so I've never been in corporate America. I can remember times when I was 14, 15 years old making payrolls. So I've always had that experience, and I know that's not everybody's experience. I know that's not the majority of you all's experience, probably. And so many of you are talking about working, in 9-to-5 jobs, as well as having a ministry, or, and just seeing how those things can combine, because a lot of times people will compartmentalize what they do for a living and ministry. And again, I started working, in the family business when I was very young. But I think destiny also leaves you clues as far as what type of life you will have and what your destiny is. Because I can even remember being 6 years old and creating these little hanging mobiles. If you know what a mobile is, if you ever gotten baby furniture, there are those little things you can hang little animals or whatever, and the baby sees them, and they're like more of a visual thing for them. But I was creating those at 6 years old. I would take my mom's old wire hangers that she would get from the cleaners, and I would take them, and I would take some yarn, and I would take notebook paper, and I would draw animals or whatever theme you wanted. Literally, I'd made a catalog before it was all over. Like, you could pick whatever theme you wanted. I could customize it for you for an extra $1. And I mean, I had all this stuff going, and I had a business going at 6 years old. And so I think destiny will leave you clues, and I absolutely love entrepreneurship. But I want to talk really quickly this Monday for you guys about your marketplace ministry, how you can combine your ministry, or what you do as far as your work for God, with your actual job. And again, it's about effectively reaching the community, your community, and I'll use, for the sake of this video, I'll use the term community, which is interchangeable with your tribe, or just the people that are assigned to your life. How can you effectively reach those people through your kingdom business? And again, the community is the people that we're called to reach. And so I'm looking over here at my notes, and you can probably see them in the background as well. But I think a definition of marketplace ministry is to be a disciple for Christ through your work or through your business. Taking your faith to work should look exactly like what you do with your faith when you're in church. I'm going to say that again. Taking your faith to work should look exactly like what you do when you take your faith to church. Or location is really the only difference. Now, hear me out. I am not talking about church behavior. Y'all know what I mean when I say church behavior. I'm not talking about learned church behavior, the way that we act in church, whether that's running, shouting, jumping, necessarily, ways that we behave when we're in worship service. But I am talking about it's God's will that we run our businesses as stewards with an eternal perspective. As stewards with internal perspective. So this is kind of where Jesus, in many of the Gospels, he expounded about serving other people through the things that we do. And there are so many scriptures I could go into, but basically his word and the things that we are supposed to do in regards to serving other people are not just meant to be done on Sunday. They're not just meant to be done at church on Sunday, but they're supposed to be practiced Sunday through Saturday, Monday through Friday, even in the workplace in regards to serving one another. Now, I don't believe that there is a different set of, a different code of ethics that you apply when you are working versus when you are worshiping. I don't believe that there's a different set of ethics. Again, because for me as a business owner, it does me good when I see other people prospering at my businesses within my company, working for me, and experiencing success because I decided to follow God with the vision that he gave to me, or I decided to follow God and start that business, and other people are prospering, and other people are being served through the services that we offer, through the way that we offer our services. It does my heart good. And so again, my company is my ministry. Now, if you don't know, I have 3 companies that I helped. Many of them I helped to run. 2 of them I own 100%. They are my companies. But I have our family has a child care center. Of course, that is definitely ministry. When you are serving people and their children, and you are serving families, a lot of times you are having to go above and beyond, because a lot of times children will be without, or they don't have, or families don't have. And you have to serve those families. Even with my speaking, coaching, writing business, RachelLProctor.com, that is a ministry that I have in regards to serving you all with whether that's with the word, whether that's with encouragement, whether that's coaching to help you start your businesses. And also even my property management company is a ministry to me in regards to the services that we provide. We help to provide people with shelter, helping to provide people with places to live, helping to serve those property owners in a way that helps to relieve that burden off of them with trying to manage all of their properties. So we look at everything with an eternal perspective, and it's not just about profit or bottom line. It's about serving the people, because I believe when you serve God's people in excellence, no matter what that is for you, that He will take care of your bottom line. He will take care of the profit. And sometimes even when you can't really see it, keep going and pushing through whatever that thing is, even the hard times in your business or your company, or even on your job if you're in corporate America. Because I believe that, it is, when God provides us with businesses, or when God provides us with positions, even if that's in corporate America, it's a platform to serve God, to be an ambassador to the business world, to how we serve other people. Because a lot of times we, again, are the only Bible that some people will ever read on your job. And so I want to leave you with 3 points that talk about marketplace ministry. And the first thing is to find your voice or your area of expertise. If you're wondering how you can combine your work and ministry, again, even if you're not a business owner, even if you're not an entrepreneur, because I don't necessarily believe everybody's called to entrepreneurship. I don't believe that. I think that both have a place. Corporate America has a place, because people in corporate America need to experience God on another level as well, through us being there when God places us in these positions. But I think you need to find your voice and find your area of expertise, and I think you need to own it. And again, this was very pivotal for me in regards to my business and the turning point when I really found out that I was not called to reach everybody. Sometimes we are spread so thin and it's overwhelming because we're trying to be all things for all people, and we're trying to reach everybody. And again, we have a certain group of people that are connected to us through our stories and through our testimonies that we are called to reach. We're not called to reach everybody. There are some things that I can't even relate. That's why I said, even though I have men that are clients and so forth, I don't believe my calling is to men. I believe my calling is to speak to women, Christian women that are going in a certain direction, mainly entrepreneurial or starting ministries or businesses and things like that. I know who I'm called to reach. And so I have to be okay with not being called to reach everybody. And I have to learn what my territory is, asking God, what is my territory? Is it for me to reach out to this group of people or to that group of people? So you have to find your voice, find out what your story is. And I think when you know what your story is, and when you find your voice, you come across as authentic. You come across as authentic. And when you are authentic with people, people will pick up on that. People can pick up on a fake, and people can also pick up on somebody that's real. And I think when you are real consistently with people, when you are doing that with excellence, you will start to gain what is called influence with people. And a lot of times having influence can get you places that money cannot get you. Sometimes having influence can get you into doors that having a title cannot even get you in. And so you want to gain influence. And so when I saw the tap come on, when I was able to get clear on what my message was, who I was called to reach, and I began to embrace what I knew, and I began to teach others what I knew. I began to share with others what I knew. A lot of times I looked past what my strengths were because they were natural to me. And that's what your strengths should be. They should be natural to you. So a lot of times we overlook the things that come easy for us. But do you realize that the things that come easy for you can be rocket science to someone else? And so that's why you've got to hone into what you're good at, what you can do in your sleep, what wakes you up in the morning, what pulls you out of the bed in the morning, those things you love to do. And pour those things into other people. No matter what that thing is for you, find out what that is, and don't discount that particular thing. Because again, you can hold the solution to somebody else's problem. Yes, it's easy for you, but it could be rocket science for someone else. And so you've got to look at the things that you've overcome in your life. And again, it may even be something that you are ashamed of, or things that you're not that proud of, but you've overcome them. So for instance, a lot of us don't believe that we have an area of expertise, and I beg to differ. I believe everybody's an expert at something. Maybe you got out of debt, or maybe you got out of a bad relationship, and maybe you don't realize how important that is. Because there are a lot of people that are still drowning in debt. There are a lot of people that are in bad relationships and they don't know how to get out. But if you've experienced success in that area and God has blessed you and God has given you a strategy to get out of those particular things, then you are an expert in that. And an expert, all an expert means is that you know more than the people that you're trying to teach. So if you're a 5 on a scale of 1 to 10 as far as your knowledge in that topic, then you target 1, 2, 3, and 4. You're not targeting 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You're going to target people that are on a scale of 1 through 4 because you're a 5. You know more than the 1 through 4. So you target those people. You serve those people. You bless those people with what you know and how you did it as far as the level. Be excellent on the level that you are on. Be excellent on the level that you are on. And when God sees that you are excellent and that you are going to even appreciate the small starts in your life, that's when God blesses you to go to higher levels. And that's when you have solid foundations to keep building your expertise on. And so you've got to see how you can use those experiences to empower the people that you are called to reach. That's marketplace ministry. And so, look at what your message is, and use that to help someone else. Start using that. Looking for the bigger purpose in what you went through. Looking for why you went through that. And that brings me to the second thing, is you have to stay connected with your why. Without a clear reason why you're doing anything, you're going to be off track. You're going to burn out. You're going to be doing things that sometimes people want you to do and not necessarily what you want to do or what you feel God is calling you to do. So you've got to stay connected to why you're doing that particular thing. Again, when times get hard, not if, but when things start getting tough for you, you've got to go back to that why and remind yourself of the people that need what you have to offer. And that can give you motivation to keep going, to keep pushing through those feelings. Because again, feelings are just feelings. Feelings are not facts. And I always say you've got to keep pushing through until your feelings change. Keep working until your feelings change. Because there are people that are waiting on you to do what it is God has called you to do. There are people whose deliverance and whose destiny is hanging in the balance and is connected to you doing what it is that God has called you to do. And you've got to look at it that way. You've got to look at, why am I doing this? Who out there needs me? Because we don't live in a vacuum. So our gifts, our talents, our destiny is not just for us, but it is to bring other people into their destiny. And when you realize that, it will keep you motivated even when times get hard, even when you're tired, even when you feel stressed. It will keep you motivated to keep pushing when you understand why you're doing things, when you understand that it's bigger than just you and how you feel today. And that's why a lot of people don't get things done. It's because they're waiting to feel like doing those particular things. They're waiting to feel like moving forward. They're waiting to feel like starting today. But you cannot wait to feel like doing, because a lot of times when you are waiting to, you're never going to feel like doing it. And if you have a great destiny on your life, and if there are lots of people that are really waiting on you, the enemy's not going to let you feel like doing it. He's going to put everything in your way to keep you from feeling like doing it, and to keep you from feeling like it's not worth, or to keep you feeling like it's not worth it. But you've got to do what you have to do even when you don't feel like it. And a lot of times when I get jaded, or when I get unfocused, or when I start losing hope or losing perspective on why I'm doing what I'm doing, I tend to keep I use an app called Evernote. I use it for everything, but I use it particularly for this one particular thing to help keep me motivated. But whenever I get something like an email or a text message or a comment that affirms my calling from somebody, say if someone left something on my Facebook page or my Instagram page or something like that, or I got an email, or just something happened that affirmed my calling, I will either screenshot it or I'll write about it if it's something that somebody told me verbally or something. But I will keep them in a folder, and I go back to those things whenever I'm feeling down a lot of days. and I'll go back to them, and it reminds me that people are watching, people are looking, people need these particular things. And so I've got to keep going, even if it's just one person that you hold on to, even if it's just one incident that you hold on to keep you motivated, to know that somebody out there needs you. You've got to find ways to keep yourself motivated and stay connected to why you're doing a certain thing. And this is marketplace ministry. Again, a lot of times we're saying, well, I'm in corporate America, I don't have a business. But again, are you going on that job and doing things with excellence? Would people know you were a Christian if you were on your job? Would they know based on how you behave that you were a Christian and that you were a believer? Or are your actions saying otherwise? Are you going on the job and are you spinning your wheels, and are you talking bad about your manager and your supervisor, or goofing off on the job and wasting time? Because the Bible even says that if you go on that job and and you don't do what you're supposed to do, and you don't do the thing that you were paid to do, that you've robbed that person. So again, that is ministry. A lot of times, again, people don't go to church, or people don't read the Bible, and our lives are the Bible that they will read. And if you're on your corporate America job and you're goofing off and you're not doing things, that's why I said there's no separate set of ethics with how you govern yourself at church with how you should govern yourself on your job. That is marketplace ministry. When people can look at your life and see that there's something different about you, even when you have a crazy boss, and you're not the one bad-mouthing them in the break room, but you're praying for them, or people can come to you and ask you for prayer, they just know that there's something different about you. That is marketplace ministry. That is how you can combine your career with ministry. I'm not saying that you go on your job and you do things that, go against necessarily company policy, but you can bring your ministry just through the life, the way that you conduct yourself, the way that you do your job in excellence, because that's how God wants us to behave. He wants us to do everything in a spirit of excellence, and that is ministry, and people will see God through the way that you behave and act on your job. So you've got to stay connected to your why. And you've also got to remember that you are blessed to be a blessing. So when we start to work to serve God, He will take care of the bottom line. When we do our work as unto the Lord, as the scripture says, then we invite God's blessings on ourselves. And there was a scripture that I wanted to read, and it's Deuteronomy 8:18. And it says, remember the Lord your God. He is the one who gives you the power to be successful in order to fulfill the covenant He confirmed to your ancestors with an oath. And that's Deuteronomy 8:18. And it doesn't necessarily say that He's going to give you the power to start a business, but He's saying He's going to give you the power to be successful, to gain wealth, whether that's through your corporate America job. There's different translations of that scripture. Of course, that's the one of my favorite translations, because I think it encompasses what I'm trying to say. He's going to be the one to give you the power to be successful with showing who you believe and who you follow, and the set of standards that you govern your life by in the marketplace, in corporate America, in your business. He is going to be the one to do that, to fulfill the covenant that He made with Abraham, that He made with your ancestors. That's Deuteronomy 8:18. And when we realize that we are blessed to be a blessing, whether that is through God giving us talent, whether that is through God giving us a higher position on our job, whether that is God giving us the resources to start a business, when we realize that God did not give us those things just to increase our stock value, as I say a lot of times, then our top priority should be to serve others in excellence, no matter what we do. Again, God is not so much concerned with your profit margins as He is concerned with how you treat His people. He's not really concerned with your profit margins, because again, when you put Him first, and when you seek His kingdom first, and when you treat His people with love and with respect, and when you serve them, no matter what you're doing, He will take care of all of that. All those other things will be added. And so again, He's worried, He's worried about, or He's not really worried about it, but He's more concerned with how you're treating people, and how you're doing your job, and how you're being a steward over the talents and the resources that He's given you. So that is what I want to say about that. As far as combining your career and your ministry, I believe it's totally doable. I believe that, again, there should not be a separate set of ethics that you use in church and that you use on your job. I think that even the decisions you make and how ethical you are on your job, that means you can't go on your job and steal stuff and, do things that are not ethical. And you say you're a Christian and you run all over the church on Sunday, and then you're a different person at work Monday through Friday. That's not marketplace ministry. It should line up all the way across the board. And I think that is how you deal with taking your career and combining your ministry, because even if it doesn't look like you're just doing ministry at work, the life that you live and how you conduct yourself is ministry. Your life is a ministry. People are watching how you conduct yourself, and that is ministry. A lot of people can watch your life and want to know Jesus just by the way that you conduct yourself when things get hard on your job, or when maybe there's a layoff on your job, or they're downsizing, and people are watching how you go through those particular situations with joy, and people will want to know the God that you serve. That is marketplace ministry. That is combining your career with your ministry. So we can't just look at our ministry as standing in a pulpit or preaching or whatever it is. We all have a ministry, and some people's ministry will never be to preach in a pulpit or to start a worldwide ministry. That will not probably be most of our, that may not be many of you all's destiny. So you can't just look at it with tunnel vision as far as what career and ministry are, because it's bigger than that. It's not that black and white. So you have to remember that. And so, guys, I hope this helped you. If that's been a question of yours as far as how do you combine your career, how do you combine ministry with that, how do you do that? Again, there should not be a separate set of rules that govern, how you behave at work versus how you behave at church. That's how you combine marketplace ministry, or combine your ministry with your career. Your life should line up. At some point, if you believe in God and you're growing as a Christian and you're praying and you're in your word, and you're in a Bible believing church, the life that you live behind closed doors should start lining up with your public life, period. It should. If you're growing and you are getting the word and you are getting the meat and you're growing and maturing in Christ, your private life and your public life should start lining up. They should start looking the same. The stuff that you do on your job, it should start looking the same as the way that you conduct yourself in church, and the things that are in your heart and in your mind, and the way that you treat your family and other people. Outside of that, it should line up, guys. So again, that is it for today. I'm going to wrap it up. And the video went a little longer than I wanted it to go, but I hope that you guys got the point in the message. That was definitely from my heart today. And so I hope you guys do well today. Have an amazing week. Expect miracles every day. That was the mantra and the message that God woke me up with this morning, is to expect miracles every day. And so if you do not have the Emerge Online devotional app, you can actually do that too, to kind of stay encouraged, because I send out daily devotionals and inspirational timeline graphics and messages each day, every day. There's not a day that I do not send those things out. And so if you would like that encouragement and just that midday motivation, you can download the Emerge Online devotional app. That is the name it is under. It's not under my name, but you can go to the App Store or the Google Play Store, and you can download it for free. It's free 99. So yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you're watching, if you came across this video on YouTube. But anyway, I'm going to run, and I will holler at y'all later. Bye-bye.